All right. Hey, everybody. It's your girl, Princella, the Queen Maker, also known as Professor P. And this is the High Power Podcast. We got a special guest today. My brother here, big homie CC. What's happening, man?
What's the word, Professor? Thank you for having me.
Oh, everything is everything. I appreciate you for being here. So we had a little conversation before we kicked this off, and I'm really into human behavior. I'm really into origin stories. I'm deep into the occult and esoteric wisdom, and we've gotten an opportunity to see you on a lot of platforms speaking on a variety of topics, from extraterrestrials to human trafficking and things like that. And I just want to kind of get an idea from you. What do you think about this world? Do you think this world is more good than evil or more evil than good?
Wow. Okay. I'll I'll say this. I'm cultured, I'm well traveled, and I approach everything with the scientific method, right?
Mm-hmm.
I'm a scientist. I'm a scientist at heart.
Yes.
What I've seen is that part of the human condition seems to be adversity,
Mm-hmm.
and I feel like we here on this planet are a resource for other beings, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
Because I've seen a lot of evil, and I've seen so much evil that I started to believe that being evil could possibly be human nature.
Mm-hmm.
And then I really paid close attention to two very distinct facts. 100,000 years ago, somebody intervened and did something with human DNA to create Homo sapiens sapiens. I don't know who did it. Somebody did it because the other hominid races that existed at that time were bigger, stronger, faster, and meaner than us. So, how were we able to outcompete them?
Mm-hmm.
Then I seen that abortions was getting banned, and I realized that wait a second, the global birth rate is dropping all around the world,
Mm-hmm.
especially in one genetic lineage.
Mm-hmm.
Their birth rate is on the brink of collapse.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And then there's always this one group of people who can organize themselves better than everybody. They can almost have a hive mind at times. And they seem to have a heightened sense of urgency when it comes to stealing all the natural resources possible.
Mm-hmm.
And I believe that there is a group of people who are invested in the suffering of others in exchange for gifts, I should say.
Mm-hmm. So let me ask you this
So,
question. Do you think that this dynamic is limited to planet Earth, or do you think it extends outside of planet Earth into other galaxies and planets?
yeah, because see, I'm a firm believer that racism started on another planet for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Because, all right now, the group, the group that introduced the Fuhrer, which is Adolf Hitler, the group that introduced him to this race of beings that they call the Nordics
Mm-hmm.
or the tall whites, as they are described,
Mm-hmm.
they made him a racist, basically.
Mm-hmm.
And wherever they came from, whoever looked like us was kicking their ass in some form of fashion.
Mm-hmm.
Because, you know, all of the indigenous people on this planet have the same skin tone.
Right. Correct.
And then scientists say that everyone's DNA started with a woman in Africa,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Yes.
It's like 7 million years ago.
Mm-hmm.
Why is it the Europeans go back around 7,000 years?
Mm-hmm.
What happened? Like what took place? Like what's going on here? You know, and I find it awfully strange that in all religious texts that I've read, you know, there's no quote from a woman in any of them.
Right.
That's very strange to me. You feel me? So it's
Mm-hmm.
like, okay. And so then, you know, the Catholic prayer is Holy Mary, Mother of God, pray for us sinners now unto the hour of our death. Amen.
Mm-hmm.
But yet, there are no quotes from her in nowhere. So this shows me that this is theater, and we have been limited to a specific set of science.
Mm-hmm.
Because in my work as a bodyguard, I've met some very interesting people. I'm getting the chills thinking about this because some of them were so serious that I would be uncomfortable around them sometimes because I would say to them, like, look, you have to tell me about all of the exigent threats to your life.
Right.
If you do not, you're putting us both at risk. And one of these guys made a comment to me and he said, you know, Epstein was gonna make his own little breakaway civilization with his pedo buddies, with that device he made out there on that island.
Hmm.
Now people don't realize that Epstein, this man was so heavily entrenched into the science community, big tech. You know, this guy got a job as a professor with no prerequisites at all. Just one of his buddies gave him a job. And the
Mm-hmm.
problem is, if you have all of the leading scientists across the world visiting your island, you're in an esoteric text, you've built a shrine. There are some type of malevolent forces that operate in between dimensions that people are being able to summon.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, CIA had documents about Hitler encountering malevolent forces.
Mm-hmm.
Why nobody want to talk about that?
Nobody wants
You
to
feel-
talk about that. I was, introduced to some information that supposedly the Queen of Orion had a group of people that broke away, which was males. They broke away from her rule up there and came down here and established the patriarchal system here, right? And they were interacting with powerful leaders in government at the time to help establish this. Now, I don't know how true it is. I'm more prone to believe that is true as opposed to not, just based on what I'm able to observe with how this world is working.
Yeah, that's that's pretty spot on because the problem is, you know, Robert Bigelow, the owner of Bigelow Aerospace,
Mm-hmm.
he spent like 20 million of his own money investigating certain things. Lockheed Martin was supposed to give him a crashed UFO in exchange for some type of government program. They reneged on the deal. This is the whole reason why Elon wanted to help Trump get into the White House. Everybody's after those big tech contracts, and they want to pass them on to some of their buddies in the Republican world. The Democrats is holding on to most of it. The problem is with all of that, where does that leave the rest of us? Because you got guys trying to make breakaway civilizations.
Mm-hmm.
They learned this from somebody. They learned this from somebody else. You see, and
Right.
history if you study, the only way to prepare for the future is to study history, and the only way to prepare for enemies is to study their behavior.
Yep.
The problem is, we got an invisible enemy that's probably walking amongst us.
Right.
And how do you study their behavior when you can't identify them? That's
Right.
what causes me problems. That's how I know human beings aren't smart enough to pull this off alone.
They did not build this infrastructure. Not the
No.
human male, not the human female. They are nothing but they're nothing but energy that the higher consume. We're really cattle, like
For sure.
chickens. That's what we are. But humans absolutely are not smart enough to build this. And
Right. But see,
yeah, go ahead.
now check this out, right? Because normally I don't really get to talk about intelligent topics when I'm dealing with black people normally.
Right.
Usually just cornball, goofy shit. You feel me?
Right.
Like guys trying to do fake gangster shit, stuff like that. The problem is though, it's a setup because the highest paid bodyguard in the world is a woman, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
She knows. I think she can speak like 12 languages. She looks like a normal lady, but she's a lion. You feel
Right.
me? She's
Mm-hmm.
a lion. This is the thing. So if you manipulate this, you take the people that's bigger and stronger than the people that's smarter than everybody. You give them these bullshit rules, so all they gonna do is oppress them. You see what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying?
Right.
This is my problem I have with dudes because all of these religious books, some dude wrote it. You feel me? Like
Correct. You know,
bullshit.
I got a theory about that because I'm into the occult and the esoteric, and I've come to the conclusion that there is a reason why the books were written the way they're written. There is a reason why it's male, and it's an esoteric, legitimate scientific principle to that. And whoever created this system, whoever created it, intentionally did it to create chaos, because the way they designed it is it's inevitable chaos, and you can't fix the chaos because it's literally interwoven in its design. And all of that information is actually in esoteric texts. And the Bible is a conglomeration of occult wisdom or esoteric principles with astrology and numerology ground up into bits and pieces and fed to the public. But the public is unable to identify the truths in it because their IQ is just too low for them to be able to have pattern recognition, to be able to draw the lines and conclusions to where this stuff originates. But there's a reason, and I will speak about that reason just between me and you. I don't really want to say that online.
For sure, for sure. I understand. I understand. Hell yeah. We
Hmm.
can chop it up. I definitely want to hear what you got to say about that though,
Yes.
because I always say this. As a man, sometimes I do stop thinking. You feel me?
Yeah.
Like most men, like I don't care how smart you are. Like as a man, sometimes like your brain will shut down, and you're not thinking about nothing.
Right.
But ladies are always thinking, man. Like
Mm.
they always. That's how they can tell small nuances, changes in your behavior. That's how they
Mm-hmm.
can tell this shit. You feel me? So
Mm-hmm.
it's like, So you probably would want to try to protect those people. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
Because when I see an attack on femininity, that's suspicious to me because, as a mammal, you probably want to reproduce to carry the species. But if you trying to, if you limiting the only group who can carry life,
Mm-hmm.
that seems kind of anti-human to me.
Right. Well, so you know that we have multiple races of people, but even within multiple races of people, the dynamic is still black and white, right? Even in,
Yes.
right. There's a reason for that. I swear to you, there's a reason for that. And every issue, every problem that you can identify, even in terms of misogyny, all of that has a real simple esoteric explanation for it. And it's it's evident in all areas if you just are able to have that information. Once you see it, you'll never be able to unsee it. And it's unfortunate that it's this way, because I believe that a lot of souls are trapped on the planet and they'll never be able to free themselves. What do you think about that?
Look, okay. If you take your Tesla down to the graveyard,
Mm-hmm.
look on that biometric camera, you're going to see people walking around out there that you don't physically see.
Mm-hmm.
It's almost as if somebody is profiting off of this despair. You feel me? And it's a lot more going on this planet than they want people to know about.
I
Because
agree.
it would fracture the international business of being a human being. Because very strange to me that King James and 47 other clergymen
Mm.
in the, I believe, the 1500s, they edited the Bible. So the most popular version of the Bible is the King James version, right?
Correct. Correct.
They edited him and 47 other clergymen edited the Bible. Then the next book he released is called Demonology.
Mm-hmm.
Then he runs a ploy to get his mother murdered so he can become the king.
Mm-hmm.
And then he's having all of these
Tryst.
uh, rainbow relationships. You
Mm-hmm.
feel me?
These trysts.
And,
Mm-hmm.
right. So, and then it's like, okay, how come it seems like everybody who edited the Bible was gay, and in the Bible it says homosexuality is an abomination, when I feel like, you know, people should be allowed to love whoever they want to love, as
Mm-hmm.
long as it's not oppressing somebody else. So,
Correct.
the man probably was demon possessed, because when they get to summoning these different beings with these rituals,
Mm-hmm.
come on, man, they can't control that shit.
Right.
I've seen an exorcism before.
Oh, really?
If
Tell me
I,
about that.
well, I used to be in the Catholic Church a lot.
Mm-hmm.
I went to several Catholic schools. I was at St. Thomas More.
Mm-hmm.
I I ended up at at a confessional booth one day.
Mm-hmm.
A buddy of mine wanted to go to a confessional, and I'm telling him, bro, I don't think it's a good idea.
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, man, I gotta get the shit off my chest. So I'm just looking like, man, and knowing him, I'm like, man, I'm like, bro, you know what we do, bro. You feel me? Like, I don't think you should tell anybody about this shit. You feel me?
Right.
Because he can walk up out of there and call and go tell the police. We end up down there, and it became a regular thing. You feel me? I would go down there, I would help out. So
Mm-hmm.
we would travel around with the church ladies, because they were searching abandoned houses looking for missing people and stuff like that. We would go help them out.
Mm-hmm.
When the archdiocese dispatches a priest for an exorcism, people don't know this, but they have to have a staff.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the members on that staff is literally his security. And I ended up on an exorcist, 3 of them. I'll never do it again.
Did it scare
I'll
you?
never ever. I'm not gonna say I was scared. The problem is, I feel like I'm a formidable opponent for anybody at any time.
Mm-hmm.
The problem is, I seen a very small frame lady look at me like, a alligator looked at a cheeseburger or something like that. You feel me? And that little, I guess she's like 11 years old. It was no way she could know my grandmother's name at all.
Mm-hmm.
There was no way she could know that. And she had grabbed my hoodie
Mm-hmm.
on the side. And, she was pulling me to a chair, pulling me down to the chair. And, I'm at this time, I'm like
How strong was she?
three.
Because she said she was 11 years old, right?
Yeah, she was a kid. You
So how
feel me?
strong? How strong was it? The strength of her pulling your hoodie down.
It was stronger than me. You
Oh,
feel it
yeah.
was strong. And I'm like, damn. So I'm trying to pull back, and the chair is not moving, and she not moving, and
Mm,
my hoodie was starting to tear,
damn.
and it's like, I'm like, all right, I probably shouldn't be around this type of activity
Hmm.
because how do I fight this? I
Hmm.
can't fight this,
Right.
and yeah. So after having those experiences, I really started to look at the world a lot different because I'm a person who, I don't let nothing slide. I'm
Hmm. Hmm.
always scrolling and patrolling. I feel like a lot of people have trauma because they let too much shit slide. You feel me? I'm not letting shit slide, so you don't traumatize me. You see? So it's like, okay, why would I keep going out for that shit? Because I'm looking at the priest and he's scared. Scared
Hmm.
as fuck. I'm like, hold on, man. You the expert, man. Do something. And like me and him still cool,
Hmm.
but like he thinks that I'm crazy for even going. But it's like, man, he said he needed my help. We became friends,
Hmm.
and he showed me that there is another world living on top of this world. I guess. I
Hmm.
guess on this plane, there's another existence because the little girl was too damn strong. It was no way she should be able to pull me like that.
Hmm.
And how does she know my granny name? Like
Right.
that was crazy. And man, and she was talking freaky as hell. I'm like, how does she even know about that? You feel
Wow.
me? Like with old English or something, like old English, like speaking like an old British knight or somebody. It was wild.
So do you think that humans are extremely sheltered?
Right. I believe Western society is completely sheltered because now get this. The town I'm in right now,
Hmm.
they say do not hang out on the beach after dark. So I'm looking like, what? You feel me? I'm on the coast,
Hmm.
and they dead serious. And at nighttime, everybody's little crib got a big gate on it. You
Hmm.
feel me? And I haven't seen no type of danger. I haven't felt no type of danger, but I heard the caretaker of the building tell somebody after a certain time, we are by the coast, it's dangerous. So I'm like, what's the danger? The man said people come out the water and take people.
Whoa.
So I'm like, what you mean, people? You feel me? He said they've been here forever. Some of them are cool, some of them not. You feel me?
Hmm.
And especially females get took,
Mm.
which is like a recurring theme, which is what set me off on this path. Last year we brought home 17 missing ladies, 4 kids, one little boy. You feel me? And people used to call me Captain Save-A-Ho. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But they don't call me that shit no more. You feel me? Because like now people call and congratulate me and all of this,
Hmm.
but it's something about children and females that somebody has a vested interest in them.
Yes.
Because I get, whatever people call me about, I go out and investigate and I try to find answers.
Mm-hmm.
I had a couple viral videos talking about Sasquatch, Bigfoot, these type of things. Several times I have heard stories of dudes having a fight with their girl, and one of these creatures intervenes.
Hmm.
It's very interesting. A guy told me one time him and his girl had slipped off the bank embankment on a little river.
Mm-hmm.
He said he was pulling her out the water. He looks up, he sees one of these creatures, and it throws a big ass rock at him.
Mm.
And he's like, no, I'm helping her. He said the creature picked up another rock, made sure that he was actually helping her out the water, frowned at him, put the rock, and walked backwards out of sight.
Wow.
Now, then you got stories of, look, during certain times of year, when it's mating season,
Mm-hmm.
the big males apparently fight each other,
Mm-hmm.
and they say what they do is they mimic the sound of a lady in distress
Mm-hmm.
to catch and kill your ass, because I guess some of them is criminals as well.
Right.
But I had a guy tell me that basically what that creature is what humans would be if our DNA was completely untouched.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you look at the physiology of that creature and study its behavior, that's the perfect build to live on the earth.
Mm-hmm.
Like if you was to survive on this planet, the way that creature is built is the perfect build. But certain people have mapped its genome, and it aligns with ours to an extent.
Mm-hmm.
So if all of this shit boils down to women and children, why?
Mm-hmm.
That's what I'm trying to figure out, because in Mauritania on every Thursday they have a slave auction, right?
Uh-huh.
And you know, I'm a firm believer in this statement. I'm going to say this is going to be controversial, but it's the
Okay.
truth. Harriet Tubman is a legend because niggas is hoes. Period.
Yeah, I agree.
That's just the facts. You feel me? Now, because dudes will sit on here and and try to attack me, but they won't come outside and try to help me do anything. You see what I'm saying?
Well, you
Because
know
when
what
it's
they
time to
did to
go,
John Brown, huh? You know, John Brown, him and his sons broke in the armory to arm these slaves with weapons to fight against their slave masters. And you know, them Negroes turned him in.
yeah, think about it. Think about it. Think about it. If the Bible is geographically correct, that means black dudes killed Jesus. Niggas killed the Son of God. The nigga walked on water. They killed them.
And that's what they do to everybody. And here's the thing: when it comes to the whole Christ thing, I'm on the esoteric end of that, being Christ consciousness, which is being a seer of truth and light. Demons don't like the truth and they don't like the light. So basically, heathens, that's just a story to let you know that heathens want to snuff out the truth. Any truth seer, any truth speaker, they want to unalive you. And if you look at humans today, they are no different than what they were during biblical times. It's the same old cycle, same old pattern.
See, that's the thing. You sharp with it. You real. clever too. I gotta give you your props because you know a lot of people just don't. You ever listen to somebody and everything just starts to get mumbled together.
Mm-hmm.
They don't know how to differentiate different ideals and different logics. You feel what I'm
Correct.
saying? And then it's like, here we go, another moron stating all of his opinions as facts. You feel me? That's
Correct.
wild.
Mm-hmm.
That's wild work. I I made some discoveries. I'm thinking about saying something right now.
Mm-hmm.
I might as well go ahead and say it.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, in every ancient civilization, they sacrifice children to appease these deities. Why is that? Then, so I've been working on something, tracking a group of guys from Uganda, right?
Mm-hmm.
They believe in some type of voodoo, some type of magic,
Mm-hmm.
and for them to have their strength, they have to cannibalize small children, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now, you know, being a truth seeker or truth teller is a dangerous game. You know, people have tried to kill me and shit like that. You know, I don't really mind that. You
Mm-hmm.
feel me? Like that's cool because I knew what I signed up for.
Mm-hmm.
But I promised my mom, I would not be a man of violence anymore and stuff like that. So
Mm-hmm.
I would try to settle down, and do the family thing.
Mm-hmm.
And it creeps me out to know that, you know, we got like 450 active serial killers in the United States of America,
Mm-hmm.
and with 450 suspects,
Mm-hmm.
and 97% of their victims are single females.
Mm-hmm.
Oftentimes, I get called from people whose children basically met somebody on a game on the phone and got convinced to come out the house and they never saw them again, right?
Mm-hmm.
So people would pay me to try to find their loved ones.
Right.
Now, it always leads back to two different groups. You
Mm-hmm.
got these sex trafficking groups, and then, man, the Amish people. Like, I done tracked a lot of serial killers to the Amish world.
Mm-hmm.
And they don't have cell phones, they don't have TV, they don't use internet, they don't have IDs, they not fingerprinted nowhere. Some of them don't even have birth certificates. And it's just like the world is ran by a bunch of different trafficking organizations because you got the Amish community and look at Scientology.
Mm-hmm.
Scientology is the biggest mover of people in the country.
Mm-hmm.
They are the biggest human trafficking group ever. They got all these people working for free labor. They can't talk to their families. They can't talk to nobody. They live in these little buildings and they hide it behind a religion. You get all these religious exemptions and all of this. I it's of my belief that there is with the Enochian text and
Mm-hmm.
esoteric, somehow these people are channeling beings from alternate realities, different dimensions, and
Do
they
you
want women and children for
do
some
you
reason. Because go ahead, my
do
bad.
you do you think that whatever they did to the human genome, do you think that humans have the capabilities to travel interdimensionally, consciously or through a different paradigm, or even channel or speak to people at that level. Who do you think is actually channeling these beings? Is it humans like us, or is it a different breed that's over all of this?
Yeah, so okay. It's no way, it's no way, it's no way typical flesh and blood human beings can pull this off. There's a book you should check out. It's called Sounds from Another Room,
Mm-hmm.
written by a guy named Peter Horsley.
Mm-hmm.
Peter Horsley is a British Air Force pilot who rose to prominence.
Mm-hmm.
And according to him, he had a meeting, a face-to-face meeting with one of these ultra terrestrials.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, I've encountered some people who kind of creeped me out a little bit
Mm-hmm.
because, you know, I had a run-in with a dude who responded to what I thought to myself in my brain.
Mm-hmm.
He responded to what I thought to myself verbally.
Hmm.
And
And what was that? What was
well,
your
I was
thought?
thinking, my thought was, "Where's my gun?" That's what my thought was,
Uh-huh.
because he was moving strange. He was moving real strange, and you know, he gave me a weird vibe.
Mm-hmm.
And the man said to me, "Oh, you wouldn't dare pull out something like that in a place like this." I was like, "Okay." But the problem is, you know, he had a problem with my cross chain, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Now, several platforms I went on didn't want me to wear this chain like out. They told me to tuck it in. I thought that was weird, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Then, you know, black people really just started recently speaking about paranormal events that took place in their life, right?
Mm-hmm.
There's a group called MUFON, the Mutual UFO Network.
Mm-hmm.
The big company, they had a website. They sent people out in the field. They're pretty much like a database for UFO incidences across the whole world.
Mm-hmm.
Now, when people are having a abduction experience,
Mm-hmm.
the only thing I've seen that made it stop is to call out for Jesus, right?
Mm-hmm.
This gets brought up to the guy who's over the whole MUFON network.
Mm-hmm.
He says, big deal. The gray aliens are scared of Jesus. They don't like Christians. Big deal. Why is what do you
What is
mean?
it? Yeah.
I'm like, so I looked at him strange. I say, wait a second, man, that matters. Like, why aren't you cataloging this? And then it hit me. I say, wait a second. He probably one of them. Because look at it. Think about it. Think
Mm-hmm.
about it. We got all of these brilliant people on the planet, but we can't solve typical human issues.
We can't.
And it's always these groups of people who are causing divisiveness.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, the older I get, I realize why, you know, certain people rise to power
Mm-hmm.
and they round up and murder as many people as they can. You feel me?
Right.
Because I see, I've never condoned in that.
Mm-hmm.
But why? Because, you know, if motherfuckers is going to tell you, okay, just like right now in this area I'm in, the man sits by this gate all day at night. That's his sole job. And at nighttime, they won't let you leave because of whoever come out the water at night and snatch people. You feel me? Then you go down to in Peru. The locals are saying there is a group of people who have a different set of technology they come out and they pretty much peeling ladies' faces off.
Goodness gracious.
They call them the pelicaras, the face peelers, but they using some sort of technology. Somebody is benefiting off the pain and suffering of human beings, and
I
I believe,
I totally believe that too. I totally
yeah,
believe that. Because it's just too much pain and suffering for human beings and they can't escape it. And there's a lot of coping that has to be about. Let me ask you this question. What is the most dangerous thing that about human beings? Because I believe that human beings are a altered species, specifically to be consumed for energy. What is the most dangerous thing about human beings that most people ignore or underestimate?
the most dangerous thing about human beings is, wow, okay, that's a profound question, because what I have seen it to be is this need to feel special.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you look at the grand scheme of things, we may not be as special as we think. And, you know, I've been to some interesting tech conferences and stuff like that, and I've seen some serious people make very serious explanations
Mm-hmm.
about how they feel like we came to be.
Mm-hmm.
And I've seen a lot of somber faces because, especially dudes,
Uh-huh.
like they just feel like they just God's greatest creation. They just feel like
You know, women think the
they
same thing too. Actually, women are worse than men in that department.
okay, that's the thing, right? The most psychopaths I met was females.
Mm-hmm.
Most of the ladies I've dated were indeed psychopaths. So lack of empathy, no remorse, self-centeredness,
Mm-hmm.
uncontrollable, violent behavior at times. Can't really explain why they do. Those
Mm-hmm.
type of characters. You know, uh, you know, like myself, like I would tell people, hey, look, I'm crazy. You feel me? Like, be nice to me, I'll be nice to you. You feel
Mm-hmm.
me? But if you play with me, you
Right.
feel me? Like, I've been chubby my whole life. I've always had baby face and dimples. I
Mm-hmm.
had to be vicious at a young age. You feel
Mm-hmm.
me? And then my pops had bodyguards. You feel me? They had me watching Faces of Death, torture videos as a kid. I shouldn't have been watching that. They was
Mm-hmm.
they was tweaking doing that because yeah, because it definitely altered my reality and what I seen the world as. So it's kind of
Mm-hmm.
like I see why they got like parental guidelines. Everything
You,
boils down.
so based on what you've seen with the world, do you think it's foolish for people to look for love out of people in such a dark place?
Oh man. Okay, okay. So I live an abstinent life. You
Mm-hmm.
see what I'm saying? And for these exact reasons, because this shit wild out here,
Mm-hmm.
and people on the gas, most people are always looking for something better,
Mm-hmm.
and then I always end up in relationships with lesbians. You feel me? Like actual. Listen, I swear to God, with actual lesbians. Like they'll say, I want you to know something. I never dated a man before, or like I haven't dated a man in this long in this type of time. I'm like, but I should have noticed it though, because they all had the same kind of swag. You feel me?
Mm-hmm.
Like snapbacks, fitted hats, sweats. You feel me?
Uh-huh.
You know, the crew neck jean combo. You feel
Mm-hmm.
so but I wasn't really because in my mind, I'm like, look, I really don't want to date a lady who's naked on the internet all day
Mm-hmm.
and outside naked because it's gonna be hard for me to keep her safe.
Right.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So, I'm like, man, ladies who take care of their own hair and stuff like that
Mm-hmm.
and dress. I'm like, man, this is cool for me. You feel me? Like, then I'll see dudes, they'll say, oh, yeah, I don't let my girl wear this. So I'm like, see, I don't even want to go through all of that because I'm not that type of person. Be you, you
Mm-hmm.
feel me? Live comfortably. So, what I realized was they'll say, you know what? I actually feel like a girl around you. You
Mm-hmm.
listen. Like you don't just beat on your chest all day.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, oh, okay. But then I am a man. So like
Right.
I'm not really trying to lay on the grass or eat a sandwich really. You feel me?
Right.
Like we could chill in the car and have a little picnic situation. You feel I'm not
Right.
really trying to so yeah, I never got no what's the I never got a pedicure or a manicure. I just do my own thing. You feel me? Like I just do all of my own. I'm self-sufficient. You feel me? Like
You
I
know,
do
you
all
know
my
most
own.
you know most people ain't self-sufficient.
Yeah, it's. Why do you think that is?
Um, and it goes back to what I said I would talk to you about offline because humans are intentionally made faulty. They're intentionally made codependent. And that codependency comes in the fact that nature is all about survival and reproduction. That's it. Anything outside of surviving and reproducing is non-existent to nature. Nature doesn't care about your corporate job. Nature don't care about the movie you're going to perform in. Nature only cares about survival and reproduction. And the way that humans reproduce is through sex, which means that humans are born codependent. In order for your purpose to even be fulfilled, you need another body. Well, because you need another body for sex, humans believe they need that other body for every other need to fulfill, which makes them eternally codependent. And in codependence, you become violent, you become possessive, you become manipulative and deceptive. So, my question is, knowing that humans are made in a faulty design. They are not made perfectly for harmony, they are made perfectly for chaos. Is it even logical or rational to look for love in such a dark nature outside of yourself?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, yeah. Because I had given up. I had said, I'm cool. I'm just gonna be one of them dudes on a property with a pack of dogs and a
Yeah.
cat. It just was gonna be chilling because yeah, I don't even because to prove your point,
Mm-hmm.
like, you know, my mom is bringing up the grandbabies thing a lot. You
Mm-hmm.
feel? Uh, my brother, my younger brother, him and they got my nephew out in the world now. He doing this thing, and you know, I can't have a kid by myself. You feel me? Like
Right. And
I,
that's
I'm
and that just come with a whole host of problems because humans want to own and control the person they lay down with. So the reality is that true peace comes in solitude. You're never going to find this in a relationship partner or outside of yourself because just the nature of human beings does not allow that. And you have to have such a strong will and purebred consciousness in order to go against the very pitfalls that will keep you away from peace and harmony. And most people ain't got the strength to do that.
absolutely facts because I feel like I'm living proof of that. I'm literally 14,000 miles away
Mm-hmm.
in an Airbnb. I don't even cut the TV on. I just sit and I listen. like I'm perfectly fine being by myself because, you know, I don't make it my significant other's responsibility to complete my happiness. You see
Correct.
what I'm saying? I feel like if that's what you're doing, you completely just a selfish piece of garbage because, you know, and then at the same time, like, I'm not gonna make my girl my therapist either. You feel me? Because like I just don't think that's masculine. You feel me? Like they got
It's not.
people for that.
It's not masculine. I think first and foremost, before I tell you what I think, what is your definition of masculine? What is that?
I feel like, you know, having masculinity, you know, you have an obligation to serve. You feel me? I tell people I'm here to serve. You know what I'm saying? Like, because usually when I walk into a place, I'm the biggest, tallest, strongest, smartest motherfucker there. So it's kind of like, okay, let me explain to these people what they doing wrong in here. Because, you
Mm-hmm.
know, if I'm showing up someplace, I want to kick it, you know, I'm like, I had to explain to some people yesterday. I say, look, man, y'all got 30 waitresses in here who also are go-go dancers, and y'all don't have an ATM machine on the property.
Right. That's
Do that
dumb.
do that make sense to you, man? It's like, oh man, okay. I'm like, see, these niggas saying this, but I had to push the issue about this. You feel
Right.
me? And like, I feel like that's what being masculine is. You feel me? Like if I see the little old lady struggling with the bags,
Do
I'm
you
finna
think
get out and come out with the
do you,
bag.
do you think masculinity is synonymous with man, or do you think these are two different concepts? That to be masculine
No,
means to be man, or to be man means to be masculine. Do you think they interchangeable?
man, hell no. See, that's what I'm saying. Like, people don't even know biology. You feel me? Like,
Mm-hmm.
everybody has testosterone and estrogen.
Mm-hmm.
You see what I'm saying? Sometimes a lady gotta get on her masculine shit sometimes. You feel me?
Mm-hmm.
Because the world is not all sunshine and rainbows. You
It's
feel
not.
me? So,
It's not. And everybody's responsible for taking care of themselves. Now, let me ask you this question. In a world full of false prophets and influencers, how do you personally discern who is real versus who is performing?
well, you know, in the land of the blind, the one-eyed man is gonna always be king, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, I look at it like this. You I know a car salesman when I see one,
Mm-hmm.
and I know somebody who's actually a teacher when I see one.
Mm-hmm.
Because my mom is a school professor. You feel me? She's been a teacher 27 years.
Right.
You know, that's who raised me. So it's kind of like, and she also kept me in the church
Mm-hmm.
because, you know, if she didn't, that's why I give my mom the utmost respect because, you know, she knew she took time to figure out the different personalities with me and my brother. You see what
Mm-hmm.
I'm saying? But I always say that if Shannon break your nose, he'll come to the hospital and pray for you.
Mm-hmm.
If Keith break your nose, he coming to the hospital to finish the job. So she knew that between us. So she made sure I had love in my heart,
Mm-hmm.
certain things like that. Because if not, yeah, it
What's
would
the
have got a little bit louder.
what's the one thing that people can look for if they want to see if somebody is real or performing? What's the one thing? Because you might be able to tell a snake oil salesman versus a teacher, but the average person who you talking to that's blind probably ain't gonna be able to see that.
Right. So if they trying to sell you, if they trying to get you to spend money without introducing you to their rhetoric, they don't give a fuck about you at all or nobody else. You feel me?
Mm-hmm.
They a snake oil. Gonna be like, if you offering just a product without an experience,
Mm-hmm.
you are a false prophet.
Mm-hmm.
Because part of being a prophet and a teacher is actual life experience.
Correct.
With, I call it doing the education. You feel
Mm-hmm.
me? Because like people try to downplay people who take their education seriously, but you know, most life-saving medicines were invented by female pharmacists.
Mm-hmm.
And we watching the world go through a shift right now because, you know, I almost just said something crazy. Let me chill.
Well, let me ask you, okay, how about this question? Now we talked about humans being a food source for um, whoever it is, this being that's out there. And in my opinion, humans are natural born slaves that are unable to be free. Do you think humans actually even want to be free?
Right. Okay. Man, this is a touchy subject for me because prime example,
Mm-hmm.
the caretaker, one of the caretakers for this building that I'm in, you know, the man don't even really wear shoes. He always smiling. You feel me? I'll look out the balcony. He'll be sitting down eating an apple
Mm-hmm.
on, on a raggedy little couch outside. You feel me? He'll take cardboard boxes, lay them on the grass, and take a nap on there.
Mm-hmm.
I said, man, this dude right here is completely unbothered.
Mm-hmm.
That is freedom. He's free.
Right.
He, he's not living under the constraints. Because I said, man, what was you doing May 8th, 2018?
Mm-hmm.
He's same thing I'm doing now.
Mm-hmm.
And on that same day, you feel me?
Mm-hmm.
I was in a shootout with motherfuckers. People put bounties on my head because they raped the little girl. The mama want to get back. You feel me?
Mm-hmm.
You know, and I'm going through all of this shit at that time, and this man is sitting on. He laid on a cardboard box next to a swimming pool eating an apple.
Mm.
I, okay, either he's figured it out or he haven't let the system enslave him.
Right.
Because, you know, I feel like humans learned the whole slavery thing from being slaves.
Correct. But I
Because
think
it's like, man,
I ultimately think that slavery is just a natural state of human beings because even when you look at how people enter relationships, they enter relationships with a slave and slave owner mentality.
yeah, see, okay. See, this is why I only been in 5 relationships, right?
Mm-hmm.
But they double back on me real fast. Like, wait, I didn't understand what you was doing at first.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, what you mean? It's like, I don't know if I'm getting in a relationship with a fully grown woman,
Mm-hmm.
you feel me? I'm coming in peace. You feel me? I'm trying to merge with you. I'm not
Right.
trying to be that overbearing. No. She gonna be safe and sound at all times. She know her man really stand on business. So
Mm-hmm.
like I don't gotta be breathing down your neck all day and all that type of goofy shit because
Mm-hmm.
that's a sign of insecurity.
Mm-hmm.
And insecure people tend to hurt others. You see what
Yes.
I'm saying? Because they was letting shit slide as a youth. You feel me? As a kid, see, I was never letting nothing slide. So like at this stage of my life, you know, I'm not traumatized. I don't have a bunch of baggage. I'm cool. You feel me?
Right.
I I accepted what the human condition was. I said, oh, so this is the human condition. Okay, let me try to make the best out of this as I can.
Mm-hmm.
I need to, I must be good at certain things. I need to be self-sufficient
Mm-hmm.
because I don't care what nobody say. If a lady have to take care of a grown man every day, eventually she's gonna get tired of that shit.
But shoes, even if a man takes care of himself, the woman comes in looking for you to take care of her. Both parties have to be self-sufficient and fully functioning in order for a relationship to work. The more mature the man, the more infantile the woman acts.
Facts, 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 all facts. And I feel like people ignore these minor, major details right here. You feel
Mm-hmm.
me? Because I'm in a new relationship right now. You feel me? And she got a hat on just like that right now that you got on right now. You feel me?
Mm-hmm.
I notice. I say, man, girls who wear these type of hats and dress like this, I get along with a lot better
Mm-hmm.
because you know certain people, if y'all sitting in the house together or in the same room, just because y'all not talking to each other don't mean it's a problem.
Right.
A lot of people think, oh, it's a
Mo-
problem. No,
Most people think that because they need constant stimulation and they need constant reminders to know that you still paying attention to them. When it comes to women, most of them are attention. They are attention whores. They need an endless amount of attention and validation. The moment that you don't give that validation or that attention, she thinks something is wrong. She will try to set up a way to get it, even if it's negative attention, it doesn't matter. And she will start to try to vie for attention outside of the relationship. This is a problem because this is an infantile state, it's a childish state. But most adults don't realize that they're really children. Most adults are
facts.
not adults.
Hell no, because you just snapped right there. You just snapped because man, I'll be standing right in front of a motherfucker, and then as soon as I'm gone, oh my god, you was the greatest thing ever. I'm
Mm-hmm.
like, see, that's the problem because
Mm-hmm.
the problem that I face is trying to be emotionally accountable for a evolved lady who typically has only dated women is a challenge. You feel me? It's a challenge because, my thought process is like this, Okay. Nobody died, nobody is bleeding. We got food in here, we got money,
Mm-hmm.
we don't have any terminal illnesses. Everything is gonna be okay. You
Right.
feel me? But you feel me, you know, the lady I'm dating had a problem with me being messy, right?
Mm-hmm.
And she said, "Listen, I am not your fan." I'm like, I'm like, why are you saying that? You just leave stuff everywhere. Am I a mate to you? I'm like, I thought we hired a housekeeper. Where's the housekeeper?
Mm-hmm.
And her whole thing was she don't want no other woman coming in the crib.
And you know what, big homie, this is what I tell women every day. Women like to complain about men not helping them and everything, but the reality is that women drain themselves because they so territorial and they hateful and jealous of other women that they decide to take on all the burdens themselves, even when they could divvy them out to other people. They just want to make sure that your eyes as a man don't go nowhere else. This is pure narcissism. And so women's narcissism and their grandiose ego self causes them to self-sabotage because they want to be the center of the universe, the center of the galaxy, and they want to make sure that they own the man. Humans approach relationships with a slave owner and slave mentality. And she doing that to herself. So if you got rid of the housekeeper, that's on you. Cause I gave you help.
Yeah, I thought that was crazy. I thought that was crazy. I'm like, man, you in here sweating trying to clean up all this shit.
And
Like,
you gotta let her do it. And here's the thing: women want to burden themselves and cause themselves problems, and then lash out at you for the problems that they cause themselves. All because they want a perfect world where everything fits their fantasy in their mind.
seen it. I've seen it. What you just said right there, I've seen it before. I I seen a lady. I seen a lady try to change the tire without a jack. I'm like, sweetheart, you're trying to prove a point
Mm-hmm.
that he said that we can do the same things. I understand that. He said, yeah, you just think I can't do it because I'm a girl. I say, no, no, no. You don't have a jack. If you can't get, you're not getting that tire off without the jack. So she trying to convince me that, oh, yes, I can. Women can do anything a man can do. I'm like, sweetheart, you missing the whole
The
point.
point.
That's what I'm saying. Like, that's a quick Google search on the tools needed to.
That's what I was gonna say. Why she ain't just Google it? Like,
Then she told me that search engines is the devil.
I think humans. I'm gonna be honest. I think humans are naturally mentally ill, both the male and female. I do believe that males might be a little bit more sane than women, but they ain't much better off. But humans collectively are below the threshold of rational common sense.
Yeah, I can concur because you know I've never ever in my life thought to myself like, man, okay, I remember a change in people.
Mm-hmm.
I remember when nobody wanted to have a fist fight with me ever.
Mm-hmm.
Then over like the last like 3 years, I'm watching grown men get influenced by 17-year-old rappers. And then I literally watched the lady get depressed because she did not have a G Wagon and Birkin bags from selling pussy. I'm like, sweetheart, you have a career. You're jealous of somebody you watching on the TikTok who is selling pussy.
Let me ask you
Like,
this question, because I think, as a woman's empowerment, I'm women's empowerment now, and I help try to teach women. But I've come to the conclusion that women are natural. Whoredom is the nature of a woman. What do you think about that?
well, prostitution is the world's oldest profession.
Mm-hmm.
I believe it's the probably one of the first professions. I try not to put everybody in one group because I was raised by some real strong, tough ladies. You feel me? And I respect them. And they oftentimes warned me about the most warnings I ever got. Now that I think about it, from like my grandma, my auntie, my mom, was about females. You feel me? Like they would warn me about that the most because they say, grandson, you are a natural protector. People might try to take advantage of you for that.
Mm-hmm.
I said, okay, bet, for sure. You know what I'm saying? A lot of things that goes on is because of conditioning, though, and propaganda. Because somebody figured that out, that, you can program human beings.
When did they figure that out, though? Did they figure that out after the world's first profession? Something has to be of nature, and for prostitution to be the first profession, that doesn't speak to programming, that speaks to nature.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, okay. I'm trying to be careful. Uh,
Look, I'm a woman
2%.
saying it. I know. Let me take the heat.
Right.
I mean, because in order for people to elevate and go to a destination, you got to know where you at first, right? Where did you start? Where are you currently at now? And where is it that you want to go? There is no place that you can say you want to go to on a roadmap without showing your initial location, where you starting from. That's even when you want to go to school. If you want to get a PhD, you have to know where you at and know what you got to do to get to where you want to go. Well, if we want to empower women to actually do better and take their own care into their hands, you as a bodyguard, you can't defend all the women. Women got to, even if you and your girl go places, you can't be around her 24/7. You got other stuff to do. She got to know how to maneuver in this world and protect herself. But can we acknowledge that a lot of times when it comes to women, women got a whole delusion in their head about this world, and they move really recklessly due to their natural need for attention and their natural desire to utilize their sexual products to get them ahead. That puts them in a lot of danger that they don't even calculate.
Facts. This is why I had to conquer the need for sex, because without having that weakness, I've been able to be a lot more productive than all of the guys that I know.
Mm-hmm.
And then, you know, ladies don't even really ask me much. You feel me? They'll just send me hella naked pictures and think I'm about to just like, oh yeah,
That prostitute.
whoop-de-doo.
Listen, who taught them that? That's natural for them to do that. Ain't nobody taught them to do that. They just come out. They come out the womb trying to offer that. Oh, pretty privilege. Oh, I can do this. Let me just send them a naked picture. Ain't nobody told them to do that. They just do that.
Yeah. You know, the world is definitely overran with whores right now. You feel me? You know, that's why, you know, I have ladies is booking me right now. Like, okay, I just had a lady about a month ago. She booked me to be her bodyguard, right?
Mm-hmm.
I show up to the location we meeting at. It's her house, okay? And you know, she pretty much was trying to book me to be like a live-in man for her. You feel me? And then, you know, they they this is my whole thing. I literally watched the modern media tell ladies they don't need a man, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now all my homegirls is 40, you feel me? And all they have is just kids, you feel me? And
Mm-hmm.
they feel duped. And then they tricked all of the ladies to liking gay rappers and gay singers. Like all of these rapper and singer dudes that I met, most of them was closet homosexual. You feel me?
I've been telling people that for a long time. But see, here's the thing. Nobody has to trick women into liking anything. See, women already like the idea of a gay man. Because if you,
Facts.
they already do. A lot of women just want to make, a lot of women like sleeping with men, but they don't actually like men. And so you know that women don't like men because all they do is complain about your natural behavioral patterns, and then they think you're broken. Women think they need to fix a man. And what are they fixing you to become? Some version of a woman with a penis.
Yes, I should plug. That's why I stay by myself mostly to myself because, you know, I'm a complete gentleman at all times until it's time for the dumb shit. You feel me?
Mm-hmm.
And that's good at. You feel me? You know, stuff when it's dangerous, you know, that's when I feel most at home. That's when I'm most comfortable. You know, for the last 16 years, I got paid to confront confrontations. So,
Yeah.
you know, I shouldn't have to battle in my relationship. You feel me? And, now, this gonna be controversial, but
Go ahead.
know, ladies that's bisexual are like the hardest ones to please sometimes.
They
You feel me?
are. They are. I would never deal with no bisexual chick or nothing. They the most confused out of everybody.
Yeah, yeah. So I'm looking like, man, you know, because I've had a interaction with a lady one time. She was getting mad about something. You feel me? And
Hmm.
she said she just feel like slapping somebody. I laughed. You feel
Hmm.
me? I'm like, damn. Like it might be you, and I'm just looking like you can't possibly be serious. You feel me? Like motherfuckers have died for less. So I don't
Hmm.
know why you. I don't even know why you would say that to a fully grown man right here. Like I don't talk crazy to you. Like why are you saying that? And then it hit me. You feel me? Like what I notice is if they walk around wearing the dildo all day, they might try to fight you. You feel me?
They think they those types. They be thinking they males. Like I
Right?
always wonder why women who say that they lesbians or whatever, I always wonder why they want a woman that look like a man, wear their hair like a man, dress like a man, act like a man, and wear a dildo all day and
That's mental ill.
treat you just like the male. I'm trying to figure out why not just get you a male at that
Why
point.
not? Because they want somebody they can have a fist fight with and possibly win.
Yeah.
Because look, I didn't hold up. So one time I was in a poly relationship, right? I got tricked. They tricked me because I'm saying like I was kicking it with them. I was kicking it with them. You feel me?
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't realize that they was in a relationship with each other.
Oh, the
So
girls.
then, yeah. So one day they said, Keith, we want to talk to you about something. I'm like, okay. Now you see, they used to sell a lot of weeds. You feel me?
Uh-huh.
And certain times with certain people, they will want me to be there while they handling the transaction. They say, yeah, because we girls, people be thinking it's sweet sometimes.
Right.
I'm like, I'm like, okay. I'm like, y'all real clever because I said, man, every time y'all cooking, y'all making these big transactions. So I'm like, okay, they know if they cooking, me and the guys go pull up.
Right.
So that's when they make all their big plays on that day. I say, okay, y'all clever. Then one day, they come asking me like, would I want to join their relationship? I said, all right, now you feel me? How is this gonna play out? Like, cause one lady is enough. You feel me? Like, I'm not. That's two people asking you questions all day.
Right.
That's that's two people getting their nails done. That's like 4 lace fronts a month. That's a
Mm-hmm.
lot. That's a
Right.
lot. So they ended up telling me like, yeah, yeah, no, no, no. We all date. We will have to. We all gonna date each other. Like I'm like, oh, huh. So y'all tell me, look, I'm not gonna be having threesomes every day. I'm not into all of that. They said, oh
Right.
no, no, no. So they broke down the whole dynamics and stuff like that. And every time they would start watching that baddie show, I'll come downstairs and they in the flow wrestling, hair pulling and everything, but nobody ever really got hurt.
Mm-hmm.
You see what I'm saying? I say, so this is why they be dating like the complete like butch
Mm-hmm.
because they act like a man, move like a man, but when it's time to rumble,
Well,
you
they
feel
want,
me?
yeah.
It's a fair fight. It's a
Mm.
fair matchup.
Right.
So, and even in that situation, you know,
But they deal with
I
the
felt like I
same
was like,
thing.
man.
They deal with the same thing that the heterosexuals deal with. So this is the conclusion I came to. First and foremost, ain't nothing different. There's no difference between a heterosexual couple, a homosexual couple, and a lesbian couple. All of them got something in common. And all the one thing they all got in common is all of them build their relationships on the pretense of sex, who they sexually attracted to. It's all based on sex. And then after that, they try to add a bunch of other stuff that actually matters. But the things that matter, the people that you choose don't even possess those qualities and characteristics for jump. So this is why everybody's relationship fails, or they end up remaining in toxicity because it's all centered around sex. Don't none of them got no sexual discipline. Don't ain't nobody interested in character or none of that. Right? It's the same dynamic.
Yo, okay. To further validate your point,
Mm-hmm.
all right. I was dating this girl. So I only date to get married. You see what I'm saying? So if I
Mm-hmm.
don't see it happening, I get out of there fast
Mm-hmm.
because because I'm not a cheap person. So like, you know, a couple dates, that's a nice amount of money. You feel
Right.
me? Because so I try to be financially responsible. Okay. Now I don't know if I want to say this.
Go ahead.
A lot of people be really confused.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like there is definitely a mental health crisis going on
Yes.
because, people, the gender role thing, like I got homies that's gay. One of them is the girl and one of them is the guy, regardless. In in every situation, you feel me? So I just be feeling like, man, girl asked me, "Oh, how many bodies do you got?" Now, when she first asked me this, I'm like, man, what you the police? Like, why is you asking me some shit like that? You feel me?
Mm-hmm.
And then she was like, see, you just too rough. I'm not even talking about that. I'm like, what are you talking about? She said, so you asked me. I said, well, how many bodies you got? So she said 70. I'm looking like, you 25. You feel me? Like, I'm like, damn. So I said, oh, okay. So my body count was at that time was 5. You feel me? So it's like, look, when she said that 70 number, I'm like, damn, it's probably 150. You
Right.
feel me? I say, man, let me go ahead and get on up out this jam. You feel me?
Mm-hmm.
So I got out the jam, but I was doing security for an NBA player.
Mm-hmm.
And we are at a recording studio. This conversation comes up again. People's body count.
Mm-hmm.
And now the girl that he is with, I just seen him 50,000 in the Hermes store.
Mm-hmm.
I just seen him do all of that type of stuff. And the topic comes up again,
Mm-hmm.
and they asked each other, and the number that she said caused him to drop to the floor on his knees. And like was out of breath. Like he was so I'm looking like, damn, what I'm looking from a distance, like, what's going on? He's like, he couldn't breathe, you feel me?
Mm-hmm.
He emotional. And so apparently she was well over 300, right?
Wow. Mm-hmm. Oh, we can't hear you. Your audio went out.
How about now?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Right. So he was distraught. Now the situation is off steer right now because this could get volatile. Man, the man almost had a heart attack because he said, "Bro, I just spent over $1 million on this girl,
Mm.
and 300 other dudes hit it for free."
Damn.
So I'm looking like, huh? Well, this proves your point. That's some horror shit right there. That's she wasn't even charging.
Like, okay, so this is how I done broke this shit down. Okay. As long as a woman is sleeping with a man, she really in the position of a hoe. I think the woman that ain't a hoe is one that's just not having sex at all. Now, how so let's look at the pimp and hoe dynamic. What does a hoe do? I look at it as a piece of bread, a sandwich. Two pieces of bread, and in the middle is a piece of meat. Both pieces of bread is a man. You got the pimp and you got the trick, and then you got the piece of meat in the middle. The piece of meat deals with the other piece of bread called a trick, and she trades sex for money or resources. She takes those resources after using her body to get it, and she goes to give the pimp all of the resources. And time is money, labor is money, right? All of that. So that woman is stuck in that position no matter what she want to call it. No matter if she call it a boyfriend, sneaky link, husband wife dynamic, it's the same position. So if she married to a dude that's not giving back to her, but she giving him all her time, all her resources, helping him, giving him money, right, doing all the labor. She with a pimp. She getting pimped in the relationship, and all she getting is the idea of a title and a fantasy. If she with a guy that's taking care of everything, she with the trick, because in exchange for her quote unquote body, he's giving her resources for that. That's the dynamic, no matter how you want to slice it and dice it. So most women are accustomed to that dynamic unconsciously, and they do this behavior without even thinking. So women will trade sex for a plane ticket. She might charge one dude some money and then screw another man because she mad. Just because she in her feelings, she'll go screw another man. She'll screw another man to get some feelings fulfilled. So sometimes it's for money, sometimes it's just for attention, right? Either way it goes, she's still in that dynamic of a piece of meat between two pieces of bread, no matter what.
Right. Now, okay. Well said. Well said. Well said. Now, I'll say this. This is a reason why I introduce people like to how I live,
Mm-hmm.
because like the ladies who I dated and like we kept the sexual part out of the relationship for a lot, like for an extended period of time. We actually got to know each other.
Mm-hmm.
We actually became friends. We actually was able, and like now we lifelong homies. Like the relationship ran its course and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
My life was just previously too motherfucking dangerous.
Right.
Like, all my homies, baby mamas, and girlfriends that been shot or something like that. And
Mm-hmm.
I stick to the rules. I took an oath. I'm not gonna break those rules.
Right.
So I didn't really try to date until I knew it was gonna be safe to do so.
Right.
So because I'll be the first to tell people, like, once I pivoted my business to just mostly protecting ladies,
Mm-hmm.
you know, I learned a lot. I
Yeah.
learned a lot.
Mm-hmm.
I learned a lot. So it's like, oh, okay, this is what's really going on here.
Mm-hmm.
And some people end up in trauma bond type situations. Some people end up in codependent situations. And
Mm-hmm.
then some guys literally get the finesse ran on. You feel me? The
Right.
whole pretty thing, like, because like what I realize is, I'll meet affluent guys
Mm-hmm.
who who don't get a lot of action.
Mm-hmm.
Never did. Never
Right.
did. So, able to lock in on their purpose, their path, and it made them wealthy.
Mm-hmm.
But a dork is a dork. There's nothing you can do about it. You feel
Right.
me? And I know some ladies who can see that.
Right.
And they told me, look, I'm gonna put this thing on him. Da, 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 da. I'm gonna have him wrapped around my finger. And
Mm-hmm.
I seen them do it. Feel me? Because some of my homegirls, like, if they was kicking it with me outside at a certain year,
Mm-hmm.
she a gangbanger. For real. Like, straight up and down. So like some of the guys I see them with now,
Mm-hmm.
I'm looking like, man, she wouldn't have even thought, she wouldn't even have looked that dude's way
Right.
when she was in her prime. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
But she, I'm not gonna call him a sucker, but like, if she done did 300 dinos
Mm-hmm.
plus,
Yeah.
she probably gonna be desensitized to a lot of things.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and that's what I try to tell women. Women really believe that they can just sleep with a man and just be like, "Oh, I don't care. I can descend to him." No, no, no. The only way you're gonna be able to do that is if you didn't slip with a lot of men, and that's the only way you can become desensitized. But if you're talking about you only had a couple boyfriends, at the end of the day, it's inevitable that you'll center your whole life around him.
Facts.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, see, I don't, yeah, I'm just trying to be the best part of your day. I'm not trying to be so focal point of your life
Right.
because once it gets like that,
It's yeah.
you're gonna she gonna find a reason to have a problem with me every day, and I've
Yep.
been through that. I'm looking like, yard. Every day you mad about something because all you focused on is me.
Yeah, that's it. And that's the problem with most women. They don't know how to focus on anything but a man once one is in their space.
Yeah, so that's why I had to stop talking to losers, like loser females who don't have nothing going on, no
Mm-hmm.
education, haven't finished nothing since high school. That type of they haven't completed anything really since high
Mm-hmm.
school.
Mm-hmm.
We like I try to stay away from them types these days. I'm doing
Right.
a lot better. I'm doing a lot better. The lesbian ladies be liking me though. I'm trying to figure this one out because when whenever they get them hats on like you got right there, like they they be a lot sharper. Like they be a lot sharper. I admit, like being a big dude, if I got a pretty lady with me,
Mm-hmm.
I make I make more money like that. You feel me?
Mm-hmm.
Like for whatever reason. You feel me?
Mm-hmm.
But usually my girlfriend was pretty much an idiot. You feel me? So it's
Yeah.
kind of like, man,
It's always a
I
trade-off. Like if you want if so each woman has a different purpose, and I think most men understand that, which is the reason why they like variety outside of just their biology demanding that they get multiple women. The reality is that every woman brings something different to the table. She has a different resource that you can use. So with a really attractive woman, that's a status symbol. It's like wearing a Rolex, depending on how attractive she is. You can close more deals with that shiny figure there. But that person is not most suitable for a real relationship, right? So you for a relationship, a solid one, you need a real person. You need a real down to earth, a solid person that knows their identity. That's a person that you can actually talk to, one that is not trying to perform for the city. So there's a whole different dynamic, and most people like people that mirror themselves. Women who are uber quote unquote feminine and theatrical, they really don't have anything in common with men. Men can't relate to them because that's a whole nother world that you're in. The lesbians or the quote unquote tomboys in them, they more down to earth. They like things that men like. They like sports. You can talk to them better. A lot of them are more realistic, and it's just easier to get along with them, right? So,
Fact.
it's just every piece has its place. Let's put it that way.
Yes, facts.
Yeah.
Because you be breaking it down because it's really hard to talk to people about these type of things because like everybody is on this woke victimhood mind state right now,
Yes.
and people are carrying a lot of trauma and experiences with them they haven't gotten over, or
Mm-hmm.
they use their they don't realize that everybody has a sad story. I guess you feel
Mm-hmm.
me?
Most people want to be victims, especially women. Humans like to be victims, but when it comes to power dynamics, when it comes to women, women love to play the victim card more than anybody else, right? They are uber allergic to accountability, right? And that makes it hard for community building. That makes it hard for relationship building. You can't effectively be in a relationship with somebody who never thinks they do anything wrong, who likes to use vagina and tears to shift the power dynamics into their favor, right? And that's typically what you deal with when you get into a relationship, a heterosexual relationship, because the person who appears to be the stronger of the two is always going to be seen as the villain, right? Even in a lesbian dynamic, whoever is seen to be the stronger person of the two will be seen as the villain, while the quote unquote one that appears to be weaker will play the victim.
That is actually facts because I have seen firsthand this dynamic you just broke down. I've been on tours with artists on tour buses, long trips, and usually a lot of a lot of famous ladies end up dating women,
Mm-hmm.
and they whole staff be women, and a couple gay dudes.
Mm-hmm.
And, and I pretty much see what you just said play out 100 times, and it's like, damn,
Mm-hmm.
whoever is seen as the stronger one, yeah, that whole being a victim, I just can't get with that. I
I
was
can't either.
always the sucker. I could never be the victim.
Yeah, yeah, and trying to teach women to.
Where are you from?
I'm originally from Louisiana, Shreveport, but I'm out here in H Town.
So look, Shreveport have an interesting history
Mm-hmm.
about dogman sightings.
Yo, now what's that?
Okay. So look, there's a website called the North American Dogman Project, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like I said, whatever people call me about, I go and investigate. I ended up in Shreveport,
Mm-hmm.
Louisiana, and man, a little trans lady sends me a video of what looked like a wolf running through her yard. You feel
Mm-hmm.
me? This is not a person who can either have the resources to create this. This is not a person familiar with CGI or anything like that.
Mm-hmm.
The dog man is real. You feel me? People call big homie dog man's out here. He's real. So I'm looking like, damn. So I was down in Shreveport, and they got
Mm-hmm.
a huge history
Mm-hmm.
of creatures with a dog face walking on two legs. Now,
Mm-hmm.
Christopher Columbus wrote in his early writings about a tribe of people that had dog faces.
Mm-hmm.
Now, somebody manipulated this DNA a bunch of different times
Mm-hmm.
because on any court of law across the world, eyewitness testimony and circumstantial evidence is enough to get you a life sentence in any court.
Mm.
But when human beings speak up and say they saw something, oh, you're out your mind. Why is that?
Hmm.
Somebody got this shit choreographed. Other races exist on this planet because here's the thing: when human beings were hunters and gatherers, if you didn't have ADHD, if you weren't hyperactive, something chased you down and ate you.
Right.
So when you mentioned to me earlier, do I think people even want to be free? That's why I teach people to unplug. You gotta unplug from the matrix. You
I
gotta
try to tell them that
unplug.
too. I try to tell them that too, but they don't want to do that. They think that's bringing chaos. If you tell them to be single, if you tell them to stop screwing, if you tell them to stop consuming trash, they will fight you. They will fight you. They don't
Yeah,
want to be free.
yeah. I seen somebody. I seen some motherfuckers have a shootout one time over Pepsi. Over Pepsi, somebody came to the spot with a diet Pepsi,
Mm-hmm.
and and motherfuckers wasn't going for that. They said, "Hold on, bro. I don't drink diet, bro. I need real Pepsi." So it's like, damn, that
Now,
shit killing you anyway. Like
that's a
you just
slave
shot the
mentality. That's a
slave
slave.
mentality.
That's a slave mentality. Now that we understand that we kind of on the same accord with, you know, humans having mental illness, being a genetically modified organism that may not even be native to this planet. Um, we know they crazy. So by you being a bodyguard, what have you seen humans do? What links have you seen humans go to sabotage somebody that's open in the public? A celebrity, successful people, just hater. What have you seen them do? What links have you seen them go to?
I feel like this is a good chance to reference Salem witch trials
Mm-hmm.
because all throughout history, whenever people are making a breakthrough, they get labeled as a heretic. They get labeled as someone who's mad, someone
Mm-hmm.
who's teaching evil. You
Mm-hmm.
know, people got hung for saying the earth is round and not flat.
That's crazy.
It's ridiculous. That's how I know it's like, man, somebody rigged the game.
Mm-hmm.
And then I feel like another group who feels like they have dominion over us has sold us out to higher beings because this gonna be this sound crazy, but each year I spend a few months in Clackamas County, Oregon.
Mm-hmm.
This is a hot spot. This is where, a large percentage of sightings of certain creatures happen in this area.
Mm-hmm.
Now, part of one of my investigations I was looking into, a lady calls me, she says, yeah, something came out the sky, snatched one of my sheep, and carried it off into the distance.
Mm.
I'm like, okay. Was it a bird? Was it a baby sheep? She wouldn't send me no footage or nothing like that. She had a little video. I showed up. I see the video.
Right.
Then, I traveled around. I said, you know what? Let me talk to some loggers
Mm-hmm.
because the loggers and the guys who work in the woods that they have some pretty interesting experiences. Now,
Mm-hmm.
this is where this is where I realized, okay, somebody is cataloging and maintaining the species here in this zoo that we live in
Mm-hmm.
because there's a guy by the name of Carl Higdon.
Mm-hmm.
Carl Higdon said he was hunting elk A translucent cube shows up. A guy gets out the cube. A guy's name was Ozo. Ozo looked like a human being, but not quite.
Mm-hmm.
And his left hand was a cone-shaped apparatus.
Mm-hmm.
Right? He said Ozo took him on this translucent cube. He
Mm-hmm.
sees a pack of elk frozen on this ship that he's on.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. He said the dude tells him, "Yeah, we come down here to get meat from time to time."
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Then I'm interviewing a group of illegal immigrant workers.
Mm-hmm.
They work for a logging company.
Mm-hmm.
They tell me that they see something similar to what this lady saw. It was, I guess it was like white
Mm-hmm.
with like a red stripe on it. It came out the sky, picked up an elk, and took it off into the distance.
Mm-hmm.
Retired FBI agent John D'Souza said he was tasked to research and investigate cattle mutilations.
Mm-hmm.
He said mutilations happen in a flash of light, and it happened.
Mm-hmm.
So, okay. This lets me know that we all stuck in the simulation together.
Yes. Yeah.
That okay. That's what I'll come up with.
Yeah. The fact that we stuck. Now my question is do you think that we can actually get out of this thing? How do you get your consciousness to go beyond this realm after you die?
Now look, you mentioned something interesting right there.
Mm-hmm.
Because I've seen people crossing over. I've seen people in that stage of death. I've seen people going over to the other side.
Mm-hmm.
They're looking at something, like
Mm-hmm.
looking past me,
Mm-hmm.
but they were seeing something. Now, are you familiar with DMT?
Yes.
Now, there's a guy by the name of Danny Goler who has been running some pretty interesting experiments.
Mm-hmm.
The universe is made of three characteristics: sound, light, and frequency.
Correct.
While he's using DMT, he's using a laser set at a certain frequency. And when he stares into this laser, it's almost like you're watching the source code of the plane we live on.
Mm-hmm.
He's shown 1,000 other people this. They all saw it at the same time. So it's not a hallucination. It's actually there.
Right.
Now, when you look on ancient Egyptian texts, manuscripts, and hieroglyphics,
Mm-hmm.
they was using psychedelic mushrooms.
Mm-hmm.
Let modern science say no, they weren't, but the proof is there.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like the way to escape this is going to be getting knowledge from in that DMT space, because everybody say they see machine elves when they go into this space.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody say they meet the great mother teacher. Everybody saying they meeting these same people. Now, the problem with this is I'm aware of some experiments that took place on a place called Skinwalker Ranch,
Mm-hmm.
where a sentient intelligence is operating there,
Mm-hmm.
and they were offered by this intelligence to cross over to the other side.
Mm-hmm.
Robert Bigelow and them said, no thanks, as far as we know.
Mm-hmm.
Now, you could go into a different dimension and, ladies might have fire in their vagina when you go over there. You feel me? It could be dragons flying across the sky. You just never know
Right.
what you may see. But I had an experience where I seen a guy appear out of nowhere before.
Mm-hmm.
And he saw that I saw that.
Mm-hmm.
And I've seen this guy a couple other times.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what that's about. Maybe I was supposed to see it.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe that's station.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel like in order for us to escape, we gotta really think outside the box and know when the invitation that olive branch is being extended to you.
Right.
Because there have been people who said they was gonna go to another place and they ain't nobody ever seen them again. So,
Right. So let me. I got a question. So you are you familiar with Julian Brown, the inventor of plastiline, the guy that's turning plastic into gasoline?
yeah. I'm familiar with him.
So supposedly he done been missing for 2 weeks. What do you think about that? Because he put some stuff online saying that helicopters was flying around him, following him, and his last text wasn't even complete. That he needed people to screen record what was going on because something wasn't right, and they ain't heard from him since.
Right. So people have been contacting me about this gentleman probably for about 2 months now.
Mm-hmm.
So I just want to say and let this be known: he is doing fine. He's alive. He is well. This is the thing. I tell people this when they contact me. I say, only way I can help you is if you listen.
Mm-hmm.
Because once you get over the target, my job is to get you off the X.
Right.
To get a principal off the X, the first step is to go media silent.
Mm-hmm.
He's the only one that listened. That lady Lisa, stalked by feds on Instagram.
Mm-hmm.
This lady, we put together a whole rendition for her because she said she's being gang stalked. First thing she does is go on there and tell everybody what I told her. I'm like, lady. I'm like, okay. So that's why I'm saying, like, that's how I know, okay, she full of it. You feel
Right.
me?
Right.
But this dude, so in his situation,
Mm-hmm.
you know, I feel like the kid's gonna be fine.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like he needs to go venture capitalist. He needs to crowdfund, raise some money, and start selling his barrels of plastic diesel.
Yeah.
You feel me? I feel like a lot of times people associate fame with wealth and resources,
Right.
and that's not how it works. So,
Right.
I felt like he thought he was going to get a lot more support from people with money. But you got to understand something. You're going against the one of the largest, fossil fuels. Oil runs the world.
Right.
If you taking value away from that, people are gonna. Everyone's not gonna be happy about that.
Right.
So uh, he's doing good though. He's alive and well. He's still putting together. He's still working. He got an uphill battle, but he need to go. He has to go grassroots with that.
Yeah.
He's got to go grassroots. Just it's just like with the electric vehicles. He's got to go grassroots because he can get a lot of plastic for free.
Right.
So if you can put together a large load of plastic
Mm-hmm.
with his device, convert that. You can. That's free bands. You can make your first million off just selling your own barrels,
Right.
and then now in the game. So
Mm-hmm.
I
Well,
gave
I'm
him some
glad to.
information.
You say you gave him some information.
Yeah. I gave some information. His mom. His mom gonna make a statement soon. He doing good though. He all good.
That's good. I'm glad to know that he all right.
Yeah. See, them inventor dudes be so passionate about they. I don't like doing security for inventors because like they'll wake up 4 o'clock in the morning. I've done it. Like man, well you can't tell everybody somebody steal your idea.
Right. Right.
Yeah, but he's doing good though. The young guy doing good.
Man, man, I'm glad to know that, and you know, I'm happy. I thank you so much for giving me your time, and let me give the audience something, a word of advice. Women specifically, what is one thing that women can do to protect themselves out here in this dog eat dog world?
Situational awareness is key. It is nothing cool about not knowing how to do something. I feel like the ladies need to have as many tools in their toolbox as possible because if there are 450 suspects of serial killers
Mm-hmm.
and 97% of their victims are females, there's an ongoing attack on femininity, and the only way out of that is to be dangerous, straight
Mm-hmm.
up. You feel?
Mm-hmm.
I always teach ladies to be aware, to be alive. I
Mm-hmm.
got my ladies how to stay alive kit about to drop.
Mm-hmm.
Man, actually we should probably collab on
I was about to
that.
say we should collab because you know I wrote a book called 41 Shades of Men: The Pursuit to Subdue and Use You. And one of the men in there, number one, is the murder man, giving you the characteristics of a guy that's scoping you out because you have a similarity that he likes to target, whether you is blonde hair, slim, you remind him of somebody. Every guy that's approaching you ain't approaching you because they like you. Then you have the child predator, the I want your child man. A lot of these guys want to get with you because they want to get with your kids. And so the book 41 Shades of Men is trying to open women's eyes to be able to have more discernment about who is in their proximity. And then in addition to that, I have a workshop called Love, Men, and Manipulation Decoded, where I teach women how to utilize a framework that called the 5 components of love to be able to peep through manipulation. And I attach this or connect it to the neurological wiring of the male in general. A lot of this information is critical for women to be able to protect themselves, but I find that women would love to outsource the responsibility of protecting themselves to the predator that they will inevitably come across.
100% facts. And yeah, we definitely gonna have to collab on this because the most common call that I get is lady stuck on the side of the road waiting for AAA to come change the tire.
Mm-hmm. You got to know how to change your own tire.
And out of those 450 suspects of being serial killers, they're all truck drivers.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So, lady stuck on the side of the road, waiting on AAA. Here comes this serial killer truck driver pulling over. Oh, you need some help?
Mm-hmm.
You can truck, and that's all it takes. You feel me? I feel like every lady should carry bear mace.
They should.
Every,
Yep. Mm-hmm.
every lady should carry. Every lady should have a taser, and every lady should have a knife
Mm-hmm. I
at all
agree.
times.
I, I
At all times.
totally I totally agree. And if you ask me, I honestly think that the way women dress, women want attention so bad that they never look at the downsides of the attention that they're vying for. They're literally vying for the wrong attention, but they don't understand that. And so the way I see how women present themselves, they present themselves in a how to catch a predator manner. So if you on the side of the road dressed like that, you will definitely catch a predator a lot of the
It's all,
times. Hmm?
it's all bad. It's gonna be all bad for sure.
Yeah, and I think women need to have one of those electric battery starters, jumpers, where you don't need somebody
Yep,
else. You need to be able to have a jumper set that you don't a jumper box. Jumper box. You need obviously flashlights. You need to, a jack, an electric jack. The ones that don't. If you don't know, but you need to know how to change your own tire.
for
Something that
sure.
basic. Have that. I made sure that my girl got that stuff in her car and everything. You need to be able to take care of yourself and get on up out of there.
Absolutely,
Mm-hmm.
absolutely. And we gonna chop it up about this because I feel like we got very useful information that we can package up
Mm-hmm.
and it'll help people because common sense is not so common these days as we see. And I just don't think people understand that things really do indeed go bump in the night. The world is not all sunshine and rainbows, man. I've
It's not.
seen I've seen terrible things.
Mm-hmm.
And usually it's just happening to a female, which is crazy. Which is crazy. That's somebody rigged this shit, man.
They
I'm trying to
did.
figure out. They rigged this. They rigged this
They
for
did.
sure.
And it is definitely intentional, right? The design. I didn't mapped out the design. It is not accidental. It is totally intentional. And it's unfortunate because most humans are not going to be able to save themselves. Even if they try it collectively, their very nature will demand that they create chaos.
Facts.
Yes.
And I agree with you. It was engineered that way because
Mm-hmm.
I feel like somebody is benefiting from the despair.
Mm-hmm.
It's I think it's almost like on a cosmic level of you know Buddhist monks have literature describing the moon being drugged into the atmosphere, into orbit.
Mm-hmm.
You feel me?
Mm-hmm.
Who put the moon there?
Right.
Somebody put the moon there. Like,
Yeah, this thing is so far beyond our comprehension. The universe, multiverse, whatever, is so vast that there's no possible way that there's just one being just sitting here caring about us. It's not. I think there's a hierarchy of of beings in control over dimensions, right? And in this particular dimension, I believe that there is something that has orchestrated this dysfunction, and I believe that humans are genetically modified organism that these beings feed on. And this idea that we have choice or control, ultimate control over our lives, I believe that's also an illusion. I think a lot of this is given to humans pre-coded, even when you talk about astrology, because it's like, okay, astrology is too legitimate and too accurate.
too accurate.
It's too accurate. And I'm starting to think that astrology is the book, the character that has already been prompted. Like, we got AI and you can create prompts. I totally believe that we have a prompt and written down as a character that we're playing in this world that somebody
I
created.
agree with I agree with you because Professor Jim Gates he found error correcting codes in some of the equations from string theory,
Mm-hmm.
and he was trying to map certain areas of space, and he found error correcting codes. And it's not suspicious to nobody that we share 60% of the same DNA as a banana.
Right.
Like what is that about? You feel
Mm-hmm.
me? And you know, certain groups of chimpanzees are entering into the Stone Age now,
Mm-hmm.
and certain groups of apes are developing a language now. So it's like, I mean, I guess that's kind of right on time. You
Yeah.
feel me? I don't. Yeah. So there's a scene in the movie Men in Black where the alien has got like the bag of marbles, and each one of those marbles was a different galaxy inside of a bag.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I'm starting to. That's looking a lot more like what's
I
going
think
on.
I know that's what's going on. It's not even a question in my mind. And that's why, cause I have some scientific, theories that I would love to talk to Neil deGrasse Tyson about, and I think that'll be a great person to speak to about some of these things that I'm thinking of in terms of, Newton's laws of motion and things like that. And connected with some philosophies that I think may be able to explain not only our own existence, but some stuff that's going on out there too.
Facts,
Mm-hmm.
because I would like to see you press him about a couple things because you know Einstein's theory of relativity was proven with whoever built those pyramids in Giza. So
Mm-hmm.
that was way before Einstein got here. So it's kind of like, where did these people go?
Right.
I there's a very interesting story. I'll send you a link about a tribe in rural Alaska
Mm-hmm.
where everyone just disappeared out. Everyone just disappeared at the same time. There was food still on plates, on tables.
Mm-hmm.
It's like everybody just crossed over at the same time someplace.
Right.
I believe there's a way at a certain frequency. Well, I know this for a fact. There's a certain frequency that you cut on,
Mm-hmm.
and certain hybrid people can't maintain their image. So
Right.
I'll say that. I'll say that. I'm
Yes,
trying to
sir.
see one of these days they got out here. Because look, they outside waiting right now, not letting nobody out. Because they
Mm-hmm.
say people come out the water and snatch niggas up. So I'm trying to get
You
that on
try,
camera.
yeah, yeah. You trying to get that on camera? Yeah, we need to see something. We need to see something, right? But I sure appreciate it. I ain't gonna take up too much more of your time. It has been wonderful, and I can't wait for the people to see this. All right.
For sure. For sure. Appreciate you, Professor P. Till next time.